Hey guys, morning. How's it going? Come on in, sit down, stay a while. Looking good. Um, Glad you're here at any rate. So I was sitting here, just got done making out my grocery list, paying some bills because that's what adulting's all about is grocery lists and bills. Not a good time at all, really. And was was actually early this morning when I got before I took Sarah to school. I was actually reading some more of my book. I actually got done with chapter two, um, which you guys don't remember. It's the overnight code. It is the story of Ray Montague. She was the first person to create a naval ship on a computer, completely by computer. She designed it all on computer. Um, and she, this book is amazing. So, chapter two is titled Submarines, and uh, the footnotes of it would basically be she starts out talking about World War II and the horrible things we did to Japanese Americans, or Asian Americans in general. How we put them in intern camps. Um, she briefly discusses the inequality of African Americans, well, people of color in general, during World War II and how they were still discriminated against, yet they fought and died for a country that didn't really care for them. And then she talks about her first run in with discrimination, which was kind of crazy, and several other things. She's just now about 11 years old in the book, so and she talks about the first submarine she ever saw, which got her hooked on the whole engineering thing to begin with, which was actually a HE 19, 18 or 19. It's small submersible Japanese subs that, matter of fact, there's was one in Pearl Harbor. Now it's on display um, at a Naval Museum. But anyhow, uh, good read so far. It really, if nothing else, opens up your eyes to how bad people are, just or were. They were way worse than they are now, I think. Although there's still some bad out there, but how bad society was towards each other, you know, and all based on the color of your skin and your beliefs. It just will never cease to amaze me how we cannot get past social and racial inequality. It boggles my imagination. But anyhow, um, another thing me and Chris were literally just talking about was there was a picture she saw. I don't know if it was on Facebook or Instagram, but she hollered for me to come in the living room, and she said, "Hey, take a look at this picture and tell me what color this is." And it was a tennis shoe, and I said pink and white. Well, she sees green and gray, um, and it determined on whether you. It was basically a function of are you a right-brained person or a left-brained person, which is the more dominant side. And come to find out, I guess, according to this thing, I'm a right-brained person, which means I'm, a little more engaged with my feelings and imagination. I'm a little more artsy and musical. Um, I can be a visual thinker, although Chris will tell you I'm not. I mean, I'm not in some aspects, but then in some aspects I am because, like I can see an old rundown house and I can tell you I can see it in my head what it would look like if we redid it. The same way with cars. I can usually see things that I'm going to build before I start building. So in that aspect, I'm visual and intuitive in that aspect. But I'm not. My intuitiveness is not my strong suit by any imagination. That's more Chris. Um, Chris on the other hand is a left brain, and she is more factual. They gave a whole list, and it was pretty much her, other than the likes, math, and numbers part. She's not horrible at it, but that's not her strong suit. But anyhow, I just thought that was kind of a neat thing. You should find out if you're a left brain or a right brain. I'll love you all the same. But, I mean, obviously, I love myself and I'm right brain, and I love Chris. She's left brain. Uh, so we were talking about, I said something last week about, what makes a hero? What is a hero? I mean, you got your obvious like superheroes, You've got your Superman, you've got your Batman, and your Thors and Iron Mans. Your whole Marvel universe and your whole DC universe, the Justice League, and all that. Those are kind of obvious superheroes, but I mean, could you really use them as representation of what to do in everyday life, or you know, use them as a guide, a model? Um, I mean, I suppose in some aspects you could. Their morals, their values and convictions, the way they handle them. In some aspects, you might be able to. But then I was thinking about, like if I had to pick a hero today, I don't think it would be a superhero. I think it would be um, somebody that helps, or takes care of business. Um, Somebody that reflects the morals and values that I hold, or something that I would do. You know, uh, a hero could be something as simple as somebody who volunteers at a soup kitchen, or to help out at a homeless shelter, or you know, um, help save, like anytime there's when the major disaster that just happened down in the south, between the you know bad rainstorms and the freezing snow, there were a lot of people that went up there and helped to repair and rebuild. Some people picked up stray animals, cats and dogs, and either found their actual homes or found them homes, depending. I mean, those to me are real life heroes. A fireman, a policeman could be a hero. I mean, I know police are getting a bad rap in the news right now, and those are justified. They should have a bad rap with those particular guys. But not all policemen are bad. I mean, I know some people don't want to hear that, and they think the whole system's corrupt. Not the whole system, but maybe bits and pieces of it. It's like the old adage, one bad apple can spoil a bunch. It gives you the perception. If you go to the grocery store and pick up the first piece of fruit you find that's got a bad spot on it, oh, the whole thing's bad. I'm not buying any of these today. Kind of the same principle. Where we fail in that aspect is the what seems to be the majority of the time the turnout of the outcome of what happens preceding the bad thing. you know um, but that is truly a different discussion for a different time in that aspect. Today I really want to focus on what I believe is a hero, and I mean, even Ray Montague can be considered a hero. Reading her book, I mean, not only was she the first person to make design a ship, a naval ship, on a computer, but she shows me as I read her book, that granted she didn't have a whole lot of options, but if you stay strong and you persevere, you can accomplish anything. Her mom told her, and kind of put this in her head throughout, from what I've read so far, up to at least 11 years old, education is everything. So like her mom would have been her hero, it would have been somebody, that she could look up to and listen to and would get her in the right direction. In her youth, she had a family support group. All her aunts were like that too. You can accomplish anything with an education and perseverance. To me, and she did. She accomplished so much. She broke so many glass ceilings, and and things like that. It was amazing. Um, Another person that might be a hero, I mean, in my eyes, is somebody that helps out and is hands on. Even if it means nothing. Even a guy that checks on his neighbors. That guy is ensuring he's helping other people, or at least going to see if they need help. That could be a hero. A parent can be a hero, hands down. Every little kid out there, if you're a dad, your kids in the beginning, they think you're a rock star, you're a hero. I mean, and that can stay. I mean, it doesn't with all kids. Most kids, at least in my experience, they hit a certain age and they got to learn how to be their own hero. But they take the tools that you taught them as you being their hero and their role model and somebody they looked up to, and take that into the world. Um, a hero doesn't always have to do an exciting run into a burning building, to save a person thing. It could just be, you know, the way they act around others, their politeness, their ability to get things done. Those I think are aspects of a hero. The guys that, didn't think twice, that went down and helped out in Texas after the freeze, to help restore electricity. There were companies, small companies, like it was the guy and his family company, that would go down and replace plumbing and electrical for free. They took the time and initiative to get a hold of suppliers for stuff to rebuild with, and got that all either free or discount. But they took that time. That's a hero. That's somebody to look up to. They're doing something, selflessly doing something for somebody else. So that to me is the biggest heroes in the world. I don't think politicians can be heroes. At least not very often. It just seems to be the common man seems to be the best hero, in my opinion. Politicians can try. They can try to accomplish great things. The only problem is the way we've got it set up. It takes a lot of politicians to think the same way, and that doesn't always work. But definitely, they don't have to be a superhero to be a hero. They don't have to have superpowers. I think, in my opinion, the best superheroes have kind hearts, big hearts, and are willing to dive in to get it taken care of. Saw a story on the news. It was about a lady named Dr. Ayla Stadford. She is a pediatric surgeon in Philadelphia. Well, she noticed in the community that she was working out of in Philadelphia, that people weren't getting vaccinated. There was no place to get vaccinated in their area of Philadelphia, and it was a predominantly black neighborhood. So she stopped practicing, and started handing out vaccinations in her neighborhood and ensuring people got there, to be able to get vaccinated. And 76% of the people who walk in the door for her to get vaccinated are black or people of color at any rate, and that's amazing. She saw the need, and she said, "What can I do to fix this need?" It's like I can't think of her name right offhand, and I feel horrible for her, but the woman who opened up the daycare center in Chicago that I talked about quite a few videos ago, who doesn't charge a dime, and she watches kids so the moms and dads can go to school and get an education and better themselves. Just like this, Dr. Stanford saw a need, in her community, and she stepped up because she had the ability to, and took care of business. And now she's getting people vaccinated. They recognized her on Good Morning America for it, but she didn't do it for fame and glory. She did it for the needs of her community. That's a hero. At least in my mind. All right, so that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about when it comes to heroes. But I want you to recognize that, a superhero doesn't have to have special powers and neat gimmicks, and doesn't have to have a lot of money. A superhero, or a hero in general, just has the ability, has to have the ability to want to go out and make a difference, make it a better place, have a bigger, kinder heart, and compassion and understanding, depending. You don't need to run into a burning building and save somebody, to be a hero. And one last thing. I even posted this on my Facebook page the other day. On this was, and it has to do with all the shootings that have been happening lately. It mostly, at least in the Columbus area, but it seems to be just going nuts everywhere. I don't understand shooting. If you're that angry that you want to shoot somebody, beat them up, use their fists. Do you have any idea how A, they live, you don't go to prison for your rest of your life. B, every time you can see them, you can be like, yeah, I whooped your butt. You know, and you got bragging rights on that, so to speak. And it's a lot less violent than shooting somebody. That needs to stop. The shooting just has to stop. It's been eating away at me. So I wanted to bring that out to everybody's attention. Fist fighting, even though it's not very cool, is still way better than shooting people. You both get to live to tell the tale, and you got bragging rights if you won. That's how we did it old school back in the day. You know, we just beat each other up if we were pissed about a situation. You know, if you stole my girlfriend, I beat you up. If I stole your girlfriend, you're probably going to beat me up. We shoot each other. Shooting each other is just dumb. You know, hands down. That's it. But anyhow, wanted to bring that to your attention. So, that's my thought on Heroes. I still recommend this Overnight Code, Ray Montague's story. So far, it's a great read. I know I said that last week too, but it is. It continues to be. Like I said, I'm not a fast reader. I don't always get a lot of time to read, but I will try to keep you posted on this book and any other book I read going forward, because there's a handful of them I want to read. Most of them are biographies. So tomorrow for dinner, I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do yet. I got a couple different ideas I'm tossing around, and they both sound wonderful. But whichever one I don't do this week, I'll do the other next week. And the other one, the first one, I was thinking about, all right, and this is probably the one I'll do just because I don't want the broccoli to go bad before I get a chance to make it for another video, is like a broccoli patty. They're like salmon patties, only made, they're for vegetarians. I ran across this recipe on something online, maybe All Recipes, something like that. I don't know, but anyhow, it looked amazing. It was online. Sounded good. It's got a bunch of stuff in it I know I like. Got it written down, ready to go. And then taco meatloaf. Sounds interesting. Be something good to try. It's got the taco meatloaf that I found the recipe for actually has quite a few pieces to it, but I think we can make it work. And I have alternatives for if you don't want to do some stuff from scratch, because it's got like a homemade salsa with it. You know, it's got a lot of things we're going to caramelize and soften and, you know, add into it. It'll be the bomb. But either way, we're going to go with one of those two this Wednesday, and whichever one we don't do this Wednesday, we'll do next Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to do some baking. Yeah, and we'll see what comes of that. I have to get my second COVID shot, vaccination shot, Thursday also. So I don't know if there'll be a Friday video per se, but anyhow, Thursday we're going to do some baking. I tried this recipe for applesauce bread. It actually turned out really good. I mean, you got like applesauce and cinnamon. It was really good. Moist, had good texture to it. The test run I made of it, part of it's still sitting on the table after 2 days, 3 days, still just as moist and soft as it was the day I made it. So that's a grand possibility. Or a blueberry pie. It'll probably end up being an applesauce cake this week and blueberry pie next week. I'm trying to make some room in the freezer. So off camera, I'm going to be making up more salsa, which and canning it. I may do a video for that for you too. It's not really hard, and it's only got maybe a dozen things you put in it. It's just a whole lot of chopping. So we got that covered. That may happen sometime throughout the next week's worth of days. But I got to get that done, and I'm going to do some, I got to can up some more chicken. We're currently out of pressure canned chicken. So anyhow, that's the agenda. So tomorrow you're either going to see broccoli patties or taco meatloaf. Thursday you're either going to learn how to do and see an applesauce cake or blueberry cake or blueberry pie. That's the agenda for now. All right, I love you guys. Pick up this book, overnight code. Look up the story on Alice Stanford. Dr. Alice Stanford was on Good Morning America. Great story and fantastic story. She deserves to be celebrated and talked about. She has done so much for her community. And go try to be someone's hero. Lead by example, show them some compassion, and be good. All right? I love you. Tell somebody else you love them, and I'll talk to you later. All right? Bye.